Before we start, I just want to take this time to ask Hi-Rez a simple question. I can understand that you can't win every game. I mean, trolls and feeders will always exist, and your shitty matchmaking system paired me against a Grandmaster player. But why? Dear God, why? What in the did I do to deserve this? Oh God, why? Welcome to the Real Deal Smite God reveal, featuring Erlang Shen, the illustrious Chinese sage.
Your strength is no match for mine!
And that's all I got. Good night, folks. Oh, come on. This online picker has it out for me. Can't you cut me some slack on this? This god is fucking dull as Rama. The only thing saving him from being duller than him is that his kid is fun as shit. You'd think that would be enough to make him interesting, but nope, he's as dull as paint drying on the wall. At least he has a dog to help keep my interest. So, Erlang Shen is an attack speed tank who plays similar to Xin Zhao and Galio from League. Why yes, it does sound weird, but it's just as much fun as it is weird. How can someone be this interesting ability-wise, but still be boring? Let's get into his kit and find out. Erlang Shen's passive is Howling Celestial Dog. Each time Erlang Shen hits an enemy with a basic attack, his dog hits as well for 15% of his basic attack power, which triggers items for basic attacks at 15% of their normal damage and can critical hit. Yeah, I don't know why Hi-Rez repeated the same points twice, but I guess it was to really make sure you understand that his dog does 15% of his basic attack damage and procs auto attack items and can crit. Did you guys get that? You sure? I mean, his dog does 15% of Erlang Shen's basic attack damage and procs auto attack items and can— Oh, fuck! Okay, jeez. Yeah, so this is a really good passive since it allows Erlang Shen to outdamage other warriors since he can get the full effect of items like Stonecutting Sword or Executioner online that much faster. The crit is a nice bonus too. Erlang Shen's one is Spot Weakness. Erlang Shen opens his third eye and analyzes the enemy's strengths and weaknesses. When activated, Erlang Shen gains 85 plus 15% additional physical damage on each strike and ignores basic attack movement penalties for the 5-second duration. While on cooldown, successful basic attacks reduce the cooldown of this ability. Oh boy howdy, another video where Hi-Rez doesn't mention an important detail about an ability. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah, so I don't exactly know how much the ability cooldown is reduced per auto attack, but I think it's half a second. It's kinda hard to tell to be honest, but that seems accurate based on what I can tell here. And no, the wiki can't confirm this, I'm afraid. Now another important detail is that the cooldown reduction effect doesn't take effect until after the steroid expires on Erlang Shen. I don't know why Hi-Rez didn't mention these important details, but mentioned the analyzing the enemy part, which isn't even accurate to how the steroid works. I mean, fuck. Complaints aside, this is a good ability, but there's really not much else to talk about. I can tell you that getting Hasten Fatalist on Erlang Shen is a really stupid idea since this ability gives you the same passive bonus as that item. Yeah, I got nothing else to add. Next. Erlang Shen's 2 is Pin. Erlang Shen's launches a spear that deals 265 plus 45% of Erlang's physical damage to all enemies on impact. Enemies in the dead center of the effect when it lands are crippled and rooted in place for 1.75 seconds. Hey, another guy with a root and cripple in one ability, cause forcing your opponent to stand around like a fucking lemon is fun gameplay design, right Hi-Rez? Jokes aside, this ability starts to illustrate why people don't really think Erlang Shen is a very interesting and had a meh release. As fun as his kit is, it feels like a lot of his design was rushed compared to other gods. Like, this ability is pretty basic. It's his lane clear that roots and cripples. Not much else to comment on other than it's easier to land the CC on enemies than the description makes it out to be. Just keep that rushed design thought in your head as we continue on with the rest of Erlang's kit. Erlang Shen's 3 is 72 transformations. Erlang Shen transforms into a mink or turtle and charges forward. Mink form deals 330 plus 85% of Erlang Shen's physical damage to all enemies, stopping at the first god hit, and increases Erlang's attack speed by 35% for 6 seconds. Turtle form deals 275 plus 40% of Erlang Shen's physical damage and knocks up all enemies hit and gains a 215 health shield for 12 seconds. Yep, just unapologetically lifted straight from Wukong's kit. What the fuck, Hi-Rez? Well, they do tailor this ability to Erlang's kit more by giving him extra attack speed or a shield depending on the situation. Now, even though the mink is more aggressive than the turtle form, you can use the turtle to initiate the fight for your team or use the mink to escape since it's the faster of the two forms. Again, not much else to talk about since I've already mentioned the pros and cons of Wukong's 72 transformations, and this is a more streamlined version of that ability. There's less decision making involved with the dash and has more synergy with Erlang Shen's kit. Next, Erlang Shen's ult is 9 turns Blessing. Erlang Shen taunts nearby enemy gods for 1.2 seconds, gaining 15% damage mitigation for the next 4 seconds. Afterwards, if Erlang Shen is still alive, he is healed for 450 plus 15% of his maximum health. And like with the rest of Erlang's kit, this is a really straightforward ability with not much to comment on. I mean, you could just pop the ult if you need some healing, but you'll be missing out on a lot of crowd control on the enemy. See what I mean about Erlang being rushed? Like, each of his abilities are good on their own, and I could easily see other warriors having a part of his kit and still be just as good as they already are. Like, you could replace Osiris's 1 with Erlang's 1, and Osiris would still be a good god to pick up. Or you could replace Vamana's 2 with Erlang's 2, and Vamana might be a better god as a result. Or you could replace Wukong's 3 with Erlang's 3. Oh wait, there's no real subtle bonuses to keep in mind like with other gods. I mean, you could get a lot of attack speed bursts on your opponents when you combine the Minx form in his 1. You can get a shit ton of CC with his 2 turtle form and ult. And yeah, that's about it. As I said before, he is a lot of fun. I mean, look at this footage. Tell me you ain't hyped to play the shit out of Erlang after watching this. While I did joke about the losing streak I was on trying to get footage for Erlang, he is a god that's designed to get ahead in the early game, or else he just gets shit on since he won't have the damage output or defense to be useful. While that is true of all gods, most warriors tend to have some viability to their kit if they fall behind. Odin and Shock are 2 good examples of these kinds of warriors. So if you are thinking of picking up Erlang for a game, keep in mind you need a decent comp to take advantage of Erlang's abilities and have a plan to get ahead and stay ahead, because this is what happens when you don't have that plan. Also, if you have shitheads who feed all game.